Welcome to the Growing Your Business podcast, a program created to answer the question, what's in it for me, for both the business and their customers. Today's guest had this to say.
Any client that you have, you need to understand that. You need to understand their background, you need to understand their culture, you need to understand their psychological traits. So we work into that. So obviously, it is harder to understand that from a person that is from another country and came from another background. So that's what we work on.
Now, stay tuned as we hear more on their values, mission, and why they continue to grow their business. Joining me today on the Growing Your Business podcast is Bertha Guzman with Pipoka Marketing Studios. Bertha, thank you for joining me on the show today.
Thank you for having me.
I want to hear all about how you serve your customers. Tell me the range of products and services that you provide.
Well, I will tell you the short version of this.
Sure.
We are a marketing agency, so definitely we will help you to grow your business and increase your brand awareness. What it makes us different is that we are so focused into help you to connect with the Latino community.
Yeah.
So maybe you've been thinking, or someone that is hearing us, but why the Latino community? Besides politics, I don't have nothing to do with it. It is a reality that here in the U.S., you have a large Latino community.
Yeah.
So basically, if you are not targeting right, you are leaving money on the table, and we don't want that for your business.
Not at all, especially here in Texas. I mean, the percentage is greater in Texas by far.
40%
You're talking
of
U.S.
population.
Yeah,
Yes.
Wow, that's fabulous. Let's talk about the different types of customers you serve.
We work with the marketing strategy. It will depend of the client. You know, you need to check in what phase your business is at the moment, but we offer solutions for the solopreneur and also for the small businesses. Because one thing that I notice is that the multicultural marketing is generally offered by big agencies.
Yeah.
And of course, that is so expensive that only big companies can afford it. So we make that affordable for the small businesses. So we work with all the process of the marketing strategy, the advertising, content creation, and so on. It will depend on what you need.
I'm interested to know the customer journey. How do they find you? How do they get started? What are the first steps?
Well, it's very easy to work with us. So the first thing will be a one-on-one, a free consultation, where I want to hear from you. I want to hear about your pain points, about the struggles that you have, give you some ideas. So at that point, we will figure out if we are a good match. But generally, maybe you're not prepared to work with me at the moment. Maybe we can offer you another solution that is not hiring the agency. It will be like a small consultancy, a mentorship program, or something like that.
Okay.
Or we'll do your best to keep on your top of mind.
Excellent. And so I imagine for content that we're creating currently is only in English. So it isn't just about translating. It's about converting the message from one culture to another, one language to another, basically compelling them to take action. Tell me about that.
Exactly. So what we made is that we tailored your marketing campaign. So because we need to engage with the community, it is like any client that you have, you need to understand that. You need to understand their background, you need to understand their culture, you need to understand their psychological traits. So we work into that. So obviously, it is harder to understand that from a person that is from another country and came from another background.
Yeah.
So that's what we work on. As you say it correctly and perfectly. It's not only translated the messages, it's understanding and giving something that will engage with them.
That's great. Stay with us. The Growing Your Business podcast will return right after this. The Growing Your Business podcast is sponsored in part by Visual Learning Solutions. Stands out with its expertise in crafting immersive audio and video experiences. Their creative team has over 30 years of experience delivering dynamic internal training programs tailored to various industries. They ensure the audience receives a compelling message, promotes brand awareness, and increases return on investment. They also excel in producing marketing content. Learn more at their website, visuallearningsolutions.com. Please check our show notes for sponsorship links and additional details. Now, back to the Growing Your Business podcast with Buddy Broyles. So Pipoka is an interesting name. I want to hear about your journey from how you started to where you are now. Tell me the story about your business.
Oh my God, this is a long story. So, first of all, in my previous life, like I like to tell, I was an attorney. I went to law school in Venezuela. I'm
Terrific.
from Venezuela. So because of the situation there and a lot of things going on, we decided to move to Brazil. So when I say we, is my husband and I. So we moved in 2018. And that was the moment when I decided to pivot my career. So obviously it was a journey on
Sure.
Brazil. I have to learn Portuguese. When I moved there, I didn't speak Portuguese.
Oh, goodness.
So
Yeah.
so I pivoted the career. I began to work into marketing. I work in a really good company there. So it was really good. So the first thing is that Pipoka means popcorn. And maybe you're asking like, okay, but what does that mean with a marketing agency? So when I moved here to the US, I began giving consultancy and mentorship to the Latinos entrepreneur to build their businesses here in the US. So I realized that I always use the same analogy. And it was like when you are on a Friday night at your home and you're going to watch Netflix and eat some popcorn, the real one, please. This
Not the
analogy doesn't.
microwave. Yeah.
No, this analogy doesn't work with the microwave popcorns. You put the kernels on the machine, and you're just waiting, and you're excited because you put everything that you got in there. But there is a moment when you feel anxious because you only see the kernels like going around, and you thought like, oh my God, this is taking so long. I want my popcorn. So it pop-ups the first one. And it's generally a small or dry or whatever, but you eat it anyway. So that's your first client. And then it will pop up the rest of it because you already put all your effort and your energy. So building a business is like making popcorn.
Right.
Yeah.
But just like using the air popper, you want to do things the right way. Enjoy the process and whatnot, and don't shortcut it. Tell me about the typical customer that you can help. What are the types of businesses that you serve?
Well, we serve 3 types of clients.
Great.
So the first one for a general and comprehensive marketing strategy, not also to create a strategy, but also to implement it. We will be working with a small to medium-sized companies that they already established and have the budget. So taking into consideration that we are a small agency, so it's not that expensive as hire a
Right.
big
Yeah, it
agency
can
where
get
you will have like
a team
a 40 folks or something like that.
Yeah.
We have a small team, but being a small team allows us to work very fast.
Yeah.
So that's something that we are proud. We work with those kind of clients. We also work with those clients that already have a small team. So we offer fractional services. Let's say that you have a content creator, you have a designer, but you need something to put order into this and to create a strategy.
Yeah.
So we can work with fractional CMO services.
Perfect.
The third client will be the solopreneur, especially if they are service providers.
Yeah.
So for them, we have this solution that I told you where we guide you to create your marketing plan and to implement it by yourself. So those are like our 3 main clients.
And that's, if you're listening or watching, you fit into many of those categories. Just about every business that would listen or enjoy this podcast fits in those categories. We all like to hear stories, and I'd love to hear a success story without naming names. Tell me about a customer that you helped from zero to success.
I have a success story. They already know what they were doing, but
Yeah.
I like to highlight it. Last year, we worked with a nonprofit, and they organized an Hispanic Heritage Festival here in Texas.
Oh.
So they hired us to make all the content marketing and strategy advertising, and content marketing and advertising strategy.
Great.
So it was such a great experience. We work into all the content, focus into the Latino community, but also into the American market.
Yeah.
So they gather more than 3,000 people. So it was such a great experience.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I love it. That is like my super success case. Also, I can tell you about people that work with me, and let's say the solopreneurs, they gain more confidence, they have their marketing strategy, they begin to implement it. And for me, the perfect case and for those clients is when they implement it, their business grow, and then they come back to us to create more strategies and to hire us as a team.
Right.
So that is really common for us. So I love when that happens.
So you can get them started with that first customer and the process, and then once they have the process refined, they're getting more customers and want to expand their message,
Yeah.
they can come right back and you can help them with the next level.
Exactly.
That's really terrific. What's the best way for potential customers to reach you?
Well, you can reach me out through LinkedIn. We have our website too. It's pipokamarketingstudio.com. And you can reach me as Bertha Guzman on LinkedIn.
Okay, great. And for those of you watching and listening, all of the content that she's given me, the links and whatnot, will be in the show notes. So just scroll down, click through, and start working with Bertha and her team. So how do you get them from the potential of burning the popcorn, the microwave popcorn, to making it properly, to getting that first win, that first customer?
Well, it is a process,
Yeah.
and you have to grow as an entrepreneur, even if you are a solopreneur.
Yeah.
So the first thing that you need to do is taking care of who you are listening on social media, because there is a lot of people like giving you the wrong advice or the popcorn of the microwave popcorn
Right.
advice. So it is through education, and when they have like their first mistakes and they have those situations where I don't have the time to just watch 1,000 tutorials on YouTube, I will sure work with them that already passed that journey. And I create this service because I could be working just with companies that wants to hire us as a team. But
Yeah.
I create this service because in 2014, I began my first business when I was living in Venezuela. And I wish I had someone to
Yes.
guide me through the
Like
process.
yourself, yeah.
So, and actually, that business and the contact that I have with marketing, it was what made me pivot my career. So I have to learn so much, and that business failed. So I wish I had someone to help me through the process and to guide me to implement it by myself, because I didn't have the budget at that time.
Right. Well, Bertha, I've really enjoyed the knowledge you've shared with us and you being on the show today. Thank you for being a valued guest.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us today on the Growing Your Business podcast. Please see the show notes for links to our sponsors, our social media, and to learn more about today's guest.